Hello, this is Peter Deegan. I'm the lead tutor for the RSSL auditing suite of courses, and today it's my pleasure to welcome Adam Slater, who's our latest new tutor on our IRCA Lead Auditor course, which we've just finished. The delegates are revising tonight for their exam tomorrow. So Adam, it'd be great to hear your experiences as a new tutor coming in and how you've observed the journey of the delegates this week.
Yes, sure, Peter, and thank you very much for inviting me. It was a very, very comfortable and nice experience. I think the course material is excellent. The knowledge of the presenters is, and particularly yourself, Peter, is really, really great. And I think probably I've been blessed with a very capable group of individuals. Having said that, if I compare day one to today, and what we saw today in the presentation of the audit scenario, it's mind-blowing, it's transformational. The other thing that was just truly inspiring and really reassuring for me was the fact that even early on, day one, certainly on day two, the delegates were identifying clauses and linking things together in a way that I thought, wow, these are going to make some pretty impressive auditors. So it really has been a very much a transformational experience for me, both in my learning curve and also seeing those delegates increase their knowledge in such a rapid rate of knots as well.
So when you said you've seen a transformation from day one to, which is today, day four,
Yeah.
give me some observations as to what you've seen from that day one. How were the delegates operating and conducting themselves in an audit capacity versus today, having gone through that 4-day learning curve?
Yeah, well, day one, I know the scenario that they were provided with was an information overload, and to pick their way through the data and the information was going to be, I think it would have challenged the best of competent auditors to make sense of it all. They fell into some pretty obvious traps in terms of the data that they were given and the rabbit holes they went down. And there was a general lack of structure to the way they presented. They weren't working together cohesively as an audit team. There was a failure to kind of recognize the audit lead, and they weren't really joining things up in a very coherent way. If we compare that to what happened today, there was a very, very rigid structure to the way they presented. There was a nice agenda that was put together by them. They adhered to the agenda, and when they presented and fed back, it was in a very logical and easy to follow fashion, with a nice statement of the issue, the concern or the non-conformance, the relevant clauses. And again, you know, they were able to link together other associated parts of the regulations or guidance that were pertinent to that observation. And it's just mind-blowing, honestly. I can't emphasize that enough. I've never seen such a transformation in such a short space of time.
And we, as the authors of this course, try and put a lot of emphasis to make sure that the case studies and the audit scenarios are realistic. How did you find the audit case studies? Were they realistic? Were they representative of what an auditor might experience during a real audit?
Yeah, very, very representative. In fact, without exception, every one of those scenarios are ones that I've come across on countless occasions. So they're very relevant, they're very current, and they presented enough of a challenge that if you were organised, you could identify the clauses that were in consideration and what the non-conformance or observation might be, but also with a degree of, shall we say, complexity and a little bit of a Swiss cheese effect with many little holes that you could dive down that could quite easily put you off tracks. And generally speaking, what I've seen now over those last 4 days is that people have been able to keep the focus, keep in lane, keep focus on the actual observation, on the actual non-conformance, without getting distracted by other superfluous information. And of course, in the real world, that's what you have to do. You're
Yeah.
bombarded with information, you're bombarded with SOPs, and you're talking to countless individuals in an organization. It's massive data overload, and you've got to make sense of it and put it in some kind of coherent fashion. And I thought, in that respect, the case studies were extremely realistic, because that is just what happens. As we all know as auditors, it's real information overload. You walk into a facility and you've got hundreds of SOPs and working documents to look at. You've got a lot of information to process, a lot of visual data that you've got to assess in relation to those procedures, and try and come out with something coherent. And I think in that respect, those scenarios were very, very close to reality.
Well, that's great feedback, Adam. Thank you very much, and lovely from an observational point of view as a new tutor to our course. So if you are curious to know more, you want to go through our audit training process and live the testimony that Adam's just given us, then by all means contact RSSL through our website or through our online assistant on the website. We love giving audit training. We love the journey that the delegates go through. And there's no doubt this team will be fantastic auditors in the future. They've really shown a great tenacity this week. They've shown a curiosity to want to learn and to be better auditors, I think. So thank you, Adam.
Thank you.